محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وأصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Inshallah ta'ala, today I'm going to be talking about a story, one of the stories in Surah Al-Kahf. And as I mentioned last Friday and the Friday before that, every Friday in the month of Ramadan, I'll be mentioning one story in Surah Al-Kahf. 2 weeks ago, Friday, I spoke about the story of Ashab al-Kahf, the young men in the cave. Last week, Friday, I spoke about the story of the man with the two gardens. And inshallah ta'ala, today I talk about a very well-known story, the story of Musa and Al-Khidr. It's an important story. It's in Surah Al-Kahf. And it's also mentioned in some detail in a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim as well. Very lengthy hadith, narrated by Ubay ibn Ka'b. So this story, it begins when Musa alayhi salam, one day, he was standing up and he was delivering a talk, a khutbah, to Bani Israel. And as he was talking to Bani Israel, a man stood up and said, "O Musa, who is the most knowledgeable person on earth?" Musa, who is the most knowledgeable person on earth? So Musa alayhi salam, knowing his status with Allah, knowing his status within the religion, and he was honest and he was being truthful, he assumed it was him. So he answered, he said, "I am," meaning, I am the most knowledgeable person on earth. He made an assumption. It would have been better for him had he said, "Wallahu a'lam," Allah knows best. However, he answered the question as he believed it was him, right? He is Musa. He is one of the 5 great prophets and messengers. He is a messenger who spoke directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows his status. So he was being honest. He said, "You know what? It is me. I am the most knowledgeable person on earth." So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Musa alayhi salam, rather correcting him, there is a slave of mine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Musa, at the junction of the 2 seas, Majma' al-Bahrain. At this location, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Musa, there is a man. And this man, O Musa, is more knowledgeable than you. He has more knowledge. So Musa alayhi salam, appreciating knowledge and understanding the virtues of ilm and seeking knowledge, he wants to meet this man and learn from him, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed Musa to travel to this place, Majma' al-Bahrain, where he would meet this man who is more knowledgeable than him and he could learn from him there. So Musa, he makes preparations and he takes with him one of his young assistants, a young boy by the name of Yusuf bin Nun, who also later on became a prophet himself. So again, they head towards this location, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, regarding this location, by the way, Majma' al-Bahrain, it's not really known exactly where on earth this place is, right? The scholars of Islam and historians, they mention different places. However, there isn't any explicit ayah or hadith that mentions the exact location of this place. And if it was something that was important, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have told us of it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins the story and says in Surah Al-Kahf, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِفَتَاهُ. Remember when, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Musa said to his young assistant, Yusuf bin Nun, what did he say? لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين. Musa is telling his young assistant, I will never give up. I will never give up until I reach this location, the junction of the 2 seas, the place where the 2 seas meet. Now, subhanallah, Musa alayhi salam, a messenger of Allah, one of the 5 great prophets, telling his young assistant, I will never give up. It goes to show his desire for seeking knowledge and his determination and understanding how important knowledge is, right? I will never give up. I don't care how long it takes. I'm not going to give up. That's a goal that I will accomplish. Go to this location, Majma' al-Bahrain, and meet this man and learn from him. أو أمضي حقبا. Even if that means traveling for ages, many months, many years. I don't care. In other words, I don't care how long it's going to take me. That is something I will accomplish. Right? Goes to show his determination. That's something I will accomplish. And this is similar to a lot of people. You know how some of us, we might have a goal in life. Maybe we want something really bad. And our mindset is, I'm going to do whatever it takes, at any cost, to accomplish that goal. Whether it's marriage, whether it's employment, whatever it is, right? Musa had that kind of mindset when it came to traveling and meeting this man and learning more from him. However, there's a problem. There's a problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Musa this general location where this man is located, right? Who is more knowledgeable than him. Majma' al-Bahrain, the place where the two seas meet. This could be a region, a city, miles long. It's a bit general. Musa needs a little bit more specifics. Exactly where at this location can I meet this man, right? He needs a little bit more detail. So in the hadith of Ubay ibn Ka'b, Musa alayhi salam, he calls upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He makes dua and he says, "Oh Allah, how can I find this man who is more knowledgeable than me? Give me a sign, give me some details, give me some more information of how I can locate him when I reach the Majma' al-Bahrain, the area where the two seas meet." So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives and reveals to Musa a sign. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Musa, take with you a basket. This is your sign, O Musa. Take with you a basket. And in that basket, put a fish. And the place where you lose this fish, that's the place where you will meet this man. So now it's more specific. Okay? So now, alhamdulillah, Musa, he has clear directions. And he takes his young assistant with him, Yusuf bin Nun. He takes with him. They both travel and they set out. They take with them this basket with his fish inside and some other belongings. And they travel, and they travel, and they travel, and they travel, until they reach an area where two seas meet, an area where there is a rock. So now, since they were traveling for a very long time, they need to rest. They're tired, they're exhausted. And at that time, obviously, there's no cars, right? They don't have a bicycle. They don't have an animal with them. No camel, no cow. They're walking. So they're very tired. So they rest by this rock. And by this rock, there's a spring that leads from this rock, that's connected from the rock to the sea. So they lay down by that rock, put their belongings, and the basket that had the fish. As they're relaxing, as they're getting rest, something miraculous happens, something very strange. And only Yusuf bin Nun notices this. And Yusuf bin Nun, he notices that the basket, it wiggles, and then it turns, and then the fish that was in the basket slips through the basket, enters a spring that's connected from the rock and into the sea. It slips into the sea. He found that this was very strange, Yusuf bin Nun. Very strange incident. However, he didn't give it any attention. He was unaware that this was the sign that this is the place where they're supposed to meet this man. After some time, Musa wakes up, and Musa also forgets to inquire about the fish. And he himself, Yusuf bin Nun, he forgets to inform Musa about the incident, the very weird incident that just happened with the fish. So they both forget. And they get up and they continue their trip. They continue walking. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَا مَجْمَعَ بَيْنِهِمَا. When they finally reached this destination where the two seas meet, this was their destination that they were coming to. This is the place that they're supposed to meet this man. When they finally reached this place, نَسِيَا حُوتَهُمَا. They both forgot about the fish. فَاتَّخَذَ سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ سَرَبًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, documenting and mentioning exactly what happened with the fish. How it very strangely slipped into the sea through the spring that was connected to the rock. So now, obviously, they're unaware. They have the basket and their belongings. They continue on their trip. Okay? They continue on their trip. And they have the basket, and they're assuming, at least Musa, he thinks that the fish is in the basket. They continue their trip. They continue. And the hadith of Ubay ibn Ka'b in Bukhari and Muslim, it mentions that they continued past this destination for the rest of the day and overnight into the morning. So it's as if they traveled past their desired destination for almost another day. So they went far beyond where they're supposed to go to. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَا, when they passed the location by a lot, again, they passed by almost a day, Musa alayhi salam, remember they're tired. So Musa says to his young assistant, قَالَ لِفَتَاهُ, he tells his young assistant, Yusuf bin Nur, you know, we're tired, we're exhausted. We haven't eaten, we haven't drank anything, we're very tired. This journey took too long. آتِنَا غَدَاءَنَا, where is our food so we can eat? Let's relax for a bit, let's take it easy, let's take a break from our trip, let's eat some food. آتِنَا غَدَاءَنَا لَقَدْ لَقِينَا مِنْ سَفَرِنَا هَذَا نَصَبًا. We have been very exhausted by this trip. Now this is when Yusuf bin Nun remembers the incident that happened at the rock that he forgot to tell Musa. The incident of how the fish slipped through the basket and went into the sea. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ, so Yusuf bin Nun said, أَرَأَيْتَ إِذْ أَوَيْنَا إِلَى الصَّخْرَةِ, oh Musa, do you remember back yesterday when we were by that rock and we're resting? Do you remember that time? فَإِنِّي نَسِيتُ الْحُوتِ, I forgot to mention to you with regards to an incident that took place with the fish. وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانُ أَنْ أَذْكُرَهُ, and none other than shaitan made me forget it. As a Muslim, when you're trying to do good, they were on a trip of ibadah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a Muslim, when you're trying to do good, shaitan will always be in your way. Yusuf bin Nur is saying, we came here to seek knowledge. None other than shaitan made me forget about that incident. وَمَا أَنْسَانِهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانُ أَنْ أَذْكُرَهُ وَاتَّخَذَ سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ عَجَبًا. And oh Musa, by the way, I apologize, I forgot to mention to you, the way how that fish exited that basket and made its way into the sea, it was a bit weird, it was very strange. Ajaba, very strange. So Musa says, Subhanallah, قَالَ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنَّا نَبْغِي, that is the place that we're supposed to go to. That area where we lost the fish, that was the sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's where we're supposed to meet this man. قَالَ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنَّا نَبْغِي فَارْتَدَّا عَلَى آثَارِهِمَا قَصَصًا. Now they realized, obviously, they passed their desired destination by a lot, almost a day. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, they traced their steps all the way back. Now they're coming back to that place where they rested yesterday. All the way back. فَارْتَدَّ عَلَى آثَارِهِمَا قَصَصًا. And as they're coming back to this location where they rested yesterday by the rock, this is where they found a man. In the hadith of Ubay ibn Ka'b in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, at this location, when they came back by the rock, they saw a man and he was covered with a garment. Musa approached this man. He realized perhaps this is the man. This is the man. Musa approaches him and introduces himself and says, Assalamu alaikum. The man responds, Alaikum assalam. Musa tells him, I am Musa. The man says, Musa? Musa from Bani Israel? And Musa says, yes, Musa from Bani Israel. So at this point, Musa did not know him. However, this man, it looked like he was well aware of the da'wah scene and what was going on. Although he was in a different region, he was well aware of some details with regards to Musa and Bani Israel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَجَدَ عَبْدًا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. When they came back to this location, they found Musa alayhi salam and Yusuf bin Nun. Who did they found? عَبْدًا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. Allah said, one of our servants. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't even mention his name. Right? It's enough of an honor if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes a Muslim that he is a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's more honorable than mentioning his name. So Allah said, they came back and they met and they found عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما. They found there one of our servants, right? And this is the man, and this is where Al-Khidr is introduced into the Quran and into the story. Al-Khidr, by the way, it's a laqab, it's a title, it's not his real name, as some of the scholars have mentioned. And with regards to his real name, the scholars, they differed. Actually, many details of his life, the scholars, they differed. If he was a prophet or not, there's a difference of opinion. How long he lived, there's a difference of opinion, right? There's not many details is known about his life. However, he was a human being from the children of Adam, and it's important to mention that because there are some people who, from the Muslims as well, who believe that, Al-Khidr, he was some supernatural being. He was an angel, he was a saint. All of that is not true. He lived forever. There's some people that say that. However, that's not true. He was from the children of Adam, and he passed away, like how everyone else passes away. So now, Musa, alayhi salam, he introduced himself to this man, Al-Khidr. قال له Musa, Musa tells him, and he gets to the point right away of why he came to meet him. هل أتبعك? Musa says, Oh Al-Khidr, can I follow you? Can I spend time with you? Can I accompany you? Can I be with you? Right? Why? For money? For fame? La wallahi. For knowledge, just to learn from you. على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. The only reason why I want to spend time with you is so I can learn from you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught you. That's the only reason why. Nothing else. No fame, no money, no nothing else. The only thing I want to be with, I want to spend time with you so I can learn from you. That's it, and nothing else. So Al-Khidr says, he says, إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Oh Musa, you won't be able to be patient with me. You won't be able to be patient with me. The things that I do, you're not going to be patient with me. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. And how can you be patient with something you cannot comprehend? The things that I do, it's beyond your realm of understanding. How can you be patient with me? And a side point here quickly. When it comes to da'wah, us Muslims, when we're talking to other, even Muslims or even non-Muslims about Islam, it's important to talk to the people according to the level of understanding, even within aspects of their religion and topics within their religion. Because certain topics within their religion, certain ayat, certain hadith, they're not from everybody. That's the honest truth. They're not for every Muslim. Some Muslims, if they hear certain ayat or hadith, they might fall into fitna. It might cause them doubts and problems and issues, right? And it reminds me of the statement of Ali ibn Abi Talib, where he said, speak to the people according to their level of intellect. حدثوا الناس بقدر عقولهم أتريدون أن يكذبوا الله ورسوله. Speak to the people according to the level of how they could comprehend the religion of Islam. Don't just talk about everything. Don't just talk about everything. So Al-Khidr tells Musa, وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. How can you be patient with something that you cannot comprehend? So Musa, he wants to learn from this man so badly. He says, قَالَ سَتَجِدُنِي. He said, Oh Khidr, سَتَجِدُنِي. You will find me. إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ صَابِرًا. If Allah wills, you will find me to be patient. Allow me. Allow me to follow you. Allow me to spend time with you. I will be patient. That is a promise. And on top of that, وَلَا أَعْصِي لَكَ أَمْرًا. I will not disobey any of your orders. Musa is telling him, inshallah, if Allah wills. And we talked about the mas'ala of inshallah 2 weeks ago in the story of Ashab al-Kahf. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا inshallah. Now Musa says here, Oh Al-Khidr, I give you my promise, but Allah willing, God willing, I will be patient, and on top of that, I will not disobey any of your commands. So now Al-Khidr says, if that's the promise that you make, I'm going to stipulate a condition. And it's from the right of a teacher, it's from the right of a scholar to put a condition upon his students. If you want to learn this book of hadith, you have to memorize the Quran first. Okay? If you want to learn this book, first you have to learn this other book that is a prerequisite for this book, right? So a scholar has the right to put conditions upon his students. So now Al-Khidr says, you know what, no problem. In that case, فَإِنِ اتَّبَعْتَنِي. if you're going to follow me, this is my condition. فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي عَنْ شَيْءٍ. Do not ask me about anything. Anything. عَنْ شَيْءٍ. Just follow me. حَتَّى أُحْدِثَ لَكَ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. Until I myself tell you about these incidents that is happening, that I am doing. So be patient as you promised, right? Do not ask me about anything. I will, inshallah, clarify the things that I'm doing to you. So they shake on it. That's an agreement. And their journey begins now. Their strange journey begins right now. And a number of confusing and astonishing incidents happens according to Musa alayhi as-salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala documents these incidents, 3 incidents in total, in Surah Al-Kahf. The first incident, so now they agree and now they're traveling. They're traveling and they're walking by the seashore, okay? Walking by the seashore. And they need to cross the sea. So they see a ship. And Al-Khidr speaks to some of the crew members on that ship, asking for a ride across the sea. One of the crew members of that ship recognizes Al-Khidr to be a good man. He knows Al-Khidr. Khidr is from that region. He knows him. So he says, no problem. You and your companion, you and Musa, come along with us on this trip for free. And you guys don't have to pay anything. Free. So they boarded, Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, they boarded the ship. As they boarded the ship, Al-Khidr, he picks out an axe and he damages the ship. He damages the ship. Musa, naturally, he becomes upset. Khidr, what are you doing? What are you doing, Khidr? These people, they were generous to us. They allowed us to ride for free, as they say, right? They allowed us to ride for free. They're not charging us anything. What are you doing? They were good to us. What are you doing? Are you trying to drown them? What you're doing is something bad, something messed up, O Al-Khidr. He gets upset. فانطلق حتى إذا ركب في السفينة خرقها قال أخرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا. What you have done, O Al-Khidr, is something truly terrible. Then Khidr says, O Musa, didn't I tell you? قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي الصبر؟ قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي الصبر؟ O Musa, didn't I not tell you that you won't be able to be patient with me? Didn't I tell you that? Musa apologizes. قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت. He apologized. He said, you know what? That is true. المسلمون على شروطهم, right? We agreed to certain conditions, and I apologize. I genuinely forgot, right? I wasn't supposed to question you. I actually forgot. Sorry about that. لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت. Do not hold me to account for something that I've forgotten. I'm a human being. I forget things. ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. And don't make things difficult upon me, Al-Khidr. I'm just trying to learn from you. Don't make things hard upon me. Okay? Don't make things hard upon me. And as they were on that ship, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned another incident, it comes in the hadith as well. As they were on that ship, they both noticed, Musa and Khidr, they noticed a sparrow dip its beak into the sea. And Al-Khidr commented and told Musa, your knowledge and my knowledge, in comparison to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is no more than the water taken from the sea by this sparrow's beak. He's teaching him a lesson here. So this was the first incident. Then the second incident happens. They disembark from the ship, and they see at the beach, the seashore area, close to the sea, they see a group of kids playing, a group of boys. They're playing around. They're playing. Al-Khidr goes up to one of the boys and he kills him. Musa becomes very upset. Khidr, what are you doing? Are you okay? What's going on? Why are you killing that boy, that civilian boy, miskeen boy, pure soul? What you have done is really messed up. It's terrible. It's horrible. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَانْطَلَقَ حَتَّى إِذَا لَقِيَ غُلَامًا فَقَتَلَ قَالَ أَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا زَكِيَّةً بِغَيْرِ نَفْسٍ لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. After Musa said that, again, Al-Khidr said, O Musa, قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Now he's more forceful in his words. Before he said, in the first incident, Musa, didn't I tell you, you won't be able to be patient with me? Now he's saying, oh Musa, did I not tell you that you won't be able to be patient with me? So Musa again apologizes and he says, yes, we had an agreement, I apologize. The first incident I forgot. As for this one, I really apologize. You know what? Another deal. قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني. If I question you after this, give me one more chance. If I question you again, فلا تصاحبني. Do not keep me in your company. قد بلغت من لدني عذرا. Then in that case, I ran out of excuses. Give me one more chance. I really want to learn. Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. They continue their journey. Then a third incident occurred, the third and final incident. They continue their journey, and as they're going, they come by a qarya, a town, a city. And in that town, remember at this point, they're also very exhausted, they're hungry, they're very thirsty, they're tired. So when they don't have food with them, they come to this town and they request from the people of that town for some food and some drink to host them for a little bit, not too much. The people of that town refused to even give them a cup of water. No hospitality at all, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions. And then within that town, Al-Khidr sees a wall that's about to collapse. So he fixes it. He sets it upright. So Musa commented, and he said, you know what, these people, this city, you're doing a service to them. You're doing a service. They weren't nice to us, right? And by the way, the human thing to do is, whenever people are traveling by a city, it's, even in our deen as well, our religion, and even humanity as well, the good thing to do is to take care of those people, at least for a day, right? Give them something to eat, give them something to drink, right? But these people refused to do that. So Musa said, you know what? By you doing that service and fixing that wall, it would have been better if you took something in return, a little fee, so we could eat and drink with that. That's when Al-Khidr said, هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا. That is the parting of me and you. That's it. You cannot accompany me anymore. خلاص. That's it. Between me and you, that's done. We're going to separate right now. However, before we separate, let me inform you of the reality of what was happening, what I was doing. Let me tell you what was happening. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر. As for the first incident, O Musa, that you were unable to be patient with, regarding the first incident with regards to the ship that I damaged, it belonged to لمساكين يعملون في البحر. It belonged to a group of poor people that worked at the sea. فأردت أن أعيبها. I wanted to cause damage to that ship. Why? وَكَانَ وَرَاءَهُمْ مَلِكٌ يَأْخُذُ كُلَّ سَفِينٍ غَصْبًا. The reason why I wanted to cause it some damage, O Musa, is because that ship was headed to a city, and in that city there was a tyrant king. And that tyrant king, he stole and took all the ships that are in good condition. So if I caused a little bit of damage, that king would leave that ship alone for you guys. And all you guys have to do afterwards is just fix up that hole, you're good to go, continue to work with it. So in fact, although I did something that seems to be bad, however, the reality was, it was in their benefit that I caused damage to that ship. That was regarding the first incident, O Musa. وَأَمَّا الْغُلَامُ. And as for the little boy that I killed, فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ فَخَشِينَ أَنْ يُرْهِقَهُمَا طُغْيَانًا وَكُفْرًا. As for the young boy that I killed, his two parents were righteous. And there was a strong fear that he was going to put pressure on them. That's how the realities of certain families. Children have a lot of control in the family, right? Over their families and their parents. In this case, it looked like one of those cases. So Al-Khidr is saying, this boy, he would have caused his two righteous parents, dughyanan wa kufra, to eventually even defiance and eventually leave the fold of Islam. فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه. So the hope was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would change this boy خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحمة, with another boy, another child that is more caring, that is more righteous, more virtuous. وَأَمَّا الْجِدَارُ, and O Musa, as for the third incident, the wall, فَكَانَ لِغُلَامَيْنِ يَتِيمَيْنِ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ وَكَانَ تَحْتَهُ كَنْزٌ لَهُمَا. As for the wall that was about to collapse that I fixed, it belonged to two orphan boys. And their father was a righteous man. And under that wall was a treasure that belonged to the father, who was rich. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا فَأَرَادَ رَبُّكَ أَن يَبْلُغَا أَشُدَّهُمَا وَيَسْتَخْرِجَا كَنزَهُمَا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّكَ. The point was, when they get older, these two orphan boys, they will be able to extract this kenz, this treasure. Since now the wall is upright, they will have access to it. They'll be able to extract from it. But however, the problem, if the wall fell down upon the treasure, these two orphan boys will never be able to find the treasure of their righteous father. And this is the point where a lot of scholars mention Al-Khidr was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After saying all of this and explaining what happened and the reason for what he did, he said, وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. None of that stuff I did from my own desire. None of that stuff I did from my own accord. Meaning, all that stuff were things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired for me to do. All these things that I did is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed for me to do. وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي ذَلِكَ تَأْوِيلُ مَا لَمْ تَسْطِعْ عَلَيْهِ صَبْرًا. That's the explanation, O Musa, of the things that you were unable to be patient with me for. And inshallah ta'ala, I ran out of time. I'll end here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum.